Hey guys, Rominating Reaper here. So, my mission, should I choose to accept it, head into the cinema and see Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Yep, it's that time. I'm so fucking hyped. I really enjoy the Mission Impossible movies, especially the latest three. They're all bangers. And this is coming hot off the heels of Fallout, which is the best one in the series and just one of my favourite action movies, full stop. Yeah, I was hyped, especially because it's another one directed by Christopher McQuarrie, who has really done a number in revitalizing the series. So, yeah, there's a lot here to be excited about. So, without further ado, head in, get my snacks, get my seat, and see what insanity Tom Cruise has in store for us this time. So yeah, I've got my popcorn here and a blue frozen Fanta, ready to experience Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Folks, remember, blue is glue. So yeah, back from seeing Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. This is one of my most anticipated films of the year because I do generally quite enjoy the Mission Impossible films. They are very fun, like spy action films. And in fact, the three most recent films in particular, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, and Fallout, are genuinely fantastically made action films. So yeah, I was excited for this, and because this one is from Christopher McQuarrie, who brought us the last two films, gave me even more reason to be excited because, well, if those two films are any indicator, then this would definitely be another, quality piece of action cinema. But is it? Let's find out. So in the film, Ethan Hunt is sent out to retrieve half of a cruciform key, which can be used to unlock an AI known as the Entity. However, the Entity has gone rogue and developed sentience with the ability to wipe out military intelligence. And so Ethan and his IMF crew set out to retrieve the other half of the key before it can fall into the wrong hands. It's not going to be an easy mission though, because hot on their tail are agents of a collective of intelligence agencies known as the Community, as well as a threat from Ethan's past, Gabriel. So yeah, it's another Tom Cruise, Christopher McQuarrie film. Over the last several years, they've delivered some genuinely great films, some really great pieces of blockbuster entertainment, and Cruise really likes working with McQuarrie, and it shows because they really get the best out of each other. And once again, that rings true here. This was a brilliant film. Is it as good as Fallout? No. But what is, to be honest? In fact, this is very much near the top of my ranking of the franchise. Yeah, this was just such a good time, and I highly recommend you see this on the biggest screen you can with a large audience. It's how it's made for. It's what it's made for. One, despite the fact this is 2 hours and 3/4 long, it never feels it. Much like Fallout, it makes use of every single second of that runtime. None of it is filler. All of it is necessary for the plot, and it always has a sense of momentum about it. It's a very fast-moving and very tightly paced film. And much like Fallout, this is a race against time to retrieve a deadly weapon before the wrong hands can get it. But unlike Fallout, this one ups the stakes massively, dials it right up to 11. It is so compelling, and it's a proper classic spy yarn, which Mission Impossible just does so well. And it helps as well the energy of the story and its pacing is matched wonderfully with some absolute balls to the wall inventive action set pieces. We've got a really strong one early on at an airport, which does a really good job of establishing all of the key players and setting the stakes. In fact, there's a whole segment in the middle in Italy which has like which has like three really good set pieces in it. It's just absolutely insane. The car stunts, Tom Cruise running, it's it's all there, and it's just so exciting to watch. And obviously, all of it builds in intensity towards a insane finale on a train, as well as, of course, the much hyped up biggest stunt in cinema history with Tom Cruise riding a motorbike off a cliff and then flinging himself off it. It's about the most Tom Cruise sentence imaginable, and yeah, it delivers. And throughout that whole final act, my pulse was racing. Like just strap in because it is an absolute wild ride. And of course, the directing and cinematography is top notch as always. It's a Christopher McQuarrie directed Mission Impossible film, so of course it's gonna look good. And obviously, there is probably some CGI there. Like, why wouldn't there be? But it is you blended in seamlessly with the countless actual practical stunts, so you'll probably never even notice it. And of course, Lauren Balfe delivers another cracker of a score. Yeah, can't wait to see what he has in store for part two. But where would all of this be without the characters? And yeah, we've got a very interesting set here. Obviously, Tom Cruise is great as Ethan. But this and Fallout have done a very good job of exploring a bit more about Ethan personally, and also trying to push the limits of his methods and his moral standing. It's very compelling stuff, and of course, Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames are both plenty of fun as Benji and Luther once again. Rebecca Ferguson is back as Ilsa, and yeah, she's as great as she was in those last two films. But it's not just the returning cast members that are great. Like, and don't get me wrong, they're great. Like, this should speak volumes that I've barely even touched on the return of Eugene Kittredge. Like, because yeah, yeah, he once again, yeah, he's very much a lot of fun. But very much what leaves an impression most is the set of newcomers to the franchise, of which there are several great ones that that we'll probably see develop more in part two. Obviously we've got Haley Atwell as Grace, who's like highly skilled and resourceful thief who ends up way in over her head. And what I like is they don't beat you over the head with the fact of how skilled and resourceful Grace is. Rather, they show you, and in fact, she makes for a really nice foil to Ethan, and I really like their little dynamic. Also, joining the ranks is Pom Clementif, who you will no doubt recognize as Mantis in the Guardians of the Galaxy sequels. I liked her character a lot. It's really fun, largely silent performance, aside from the occasional line of dialogue in French. she was such an entertaining character. A really fun supporting antagonist. And obviously, we have our main antagonist himself, Gabriel, played by Isai Morales. And plus, I don't think he's gonna go down as like the most memorable villain in the franchise. Like, obviously, this franchise has delivered great villains in the past, like Henry Cavill's August Walker from Fallout, and obviously the creme de la creme, Philip Seymour Hoffman as Owen Davian in number three. But saying that, Isai Morales made for a really good villain here, and the threat he posed to the characters was tangible, and he's a very entertaining presence. Again, I'm very excited to see more of him in part two. And you know, this actually breaks the curse of the recent part one film this summer, Fast X Across the Spider Verse. Not to besmirch that Across the Spider Verse or anything, it's still amazing. Wherein this actually does feel like a completed story, that does leave a few breadcrumbs open for part two, but by and large, it feels like a story that does come full circle. You know, much like the endings of Empire Strikes Back, or more aptly, Avengers Infinity War. But yeah, overall, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is an absolutely insane thrill ride of an action movie that, to get the most out of it, you gotta see it on the big screen. It is just a wild experience. And to be honest, I wouldn't expect anything less from Tom Cruise. Yeah, super hyped for Part 2. Yeah, fingers crossed we get it next year, but with the recent news of the strikes, it probably won't happen. But they can take all the time they need, because yeah, I don't doubt the quality for 1 second. And overall, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. So yeah, let me know down in the comments. Have you seen Dead Reckoning Part 1? What do you think of it? Are you hyped for Part 2? Who's your favourite new addition to the cast? And what's your favourite Mission Impossible film? Let me know all that down in the comments. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up button if you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe button if you're new. And don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload.